This paper, LLMs still can't plan. Can LRMs, a preliminary evaluation of OpenAI's O1 on PlanBench, explores the planning capabilities of large language models, LLMs, and a new type of model called a large reasoning model, LRM. What is the main takeaway from this research?
The paper finds that while LLMs have shown some progress in planning tasks, they still struggle to consistently solve even simple problems. The authors introduce a benchmark called PlanBench to evaluate these models, and they find that LLMs often fail to generalize their abilities to different problem variations. However, the paper also explores the performance of a new LRM, OpenAI's O1, which shows significant improvement on PlanBench.
What makes O1 different from traditional LLMs?
O1 is designed to be an approximate reasoner, rather than an approximate retriever like most LLMs. This means that O1 is trained to reason about the relationships between different parts of a problem, rather than simply retrieving information from its training data. The paper speculates that O1 might be trained using reinforcement learning to improve its ability to generate chains of thought that are useful for reasoning.
How does O1 perform on PlanBench compared to LLMs?
O1 significantly outperforms LLMs on PlanBench, achieving much higher accuracy on both simple and more complex problems. However, the paper also notes that O1's performance is not yet robust, and it can still struggle with larger or more complex problems.
What are some of the limitations of O1 that the paper highlights?
The paper points out that O1's performance is not always consistent, and it can sometimes generate incorrect or nonsensical plans. Additionally, O1 is a black box model, meaning that its internal reasoning process is not transparent. This makes it difficult to understand why the model makes certain decisions, and it raises concerns about its reliability and trustworthiness.
The paper also discusses the cost of using O1. Can you elaborate on that?
O1 is significantly more expensive to use than LLMs. This is because O1 uses a large number of reasoning tokens during inference, which are charged at a higher rate than traditional output tokens. The paper argues that this cost needs to be considered when evaluating the overall value of O1.
The paper compares O1 to other approaches to planning, such as classical planners and LLM modulo systems. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these alternative approaches?
Classical planners are typically very efficient and provide guarantees about the correctness of their solutions. However, they are often limited to specific problem domains and may not be as flexible as LLMs. LLM modulo systems combine LLMs with external verifiers to ensure that the generated plans are correct. This approach can be more robust than using LLMs alone, but it can also be more computationally expensive.
The paper mentions that O1 sometimes provides creative but nonsensical justifications for its incorrect answers. What does this tell us about the model?
This suggests that O1 may be able to generate plausible-sounding explanations for its decisions, even when those decisions are incorrect. This is a common problem with LLMs, and it highlights the importance of carefully evaluating the model's outputs and not blindly trusting its explanations.
The paper concludes by suggesting that future research should focus on developing more robust and reliable planning models. What are some of the key challenges that need to be addressed?
One key challenge is to develop models that can generalize their planning abilities to different problem domains and variations. Another challenge is to improve the transparency and interpretability of these models so that we can better understand their reasoning processes and ensure their reliability. Finally, it is important to consider the cost and efficiency of these models, as they are often used in resource-constrained environments.
The paper also mentions that A1's performance on unsolvable problems is not very good. Can you explain why this is a problem?
The ability to recognize unsolvable problems is crucial for planning systems, as it allows them to avoid wasting time and resources on futile attempts to find a solution. If a planning system cannot reliably identify unsolvable problems, it may generate incorrect or incomplete plans, which can have serious consequences in real-world applications.
The paper suggests that O1's performance on unsolvable problems may be due to the model's tendency to confabulate answers. What does this mean?
Confabulation refers to the tendency of LLMs to generate plausible sounding but incorrect answers. This can happen when the model is presented with a problem that it cannot solve, and it attempts to fill in the gaps in its knowledge by making up information. This can lead to the model generating incorrect plans or making false claims about the problem.
The paper also discusses the importance of evaluating the efficiency of planning models. Why is this important?
Efficiency is a critical factor in planning, as it determines how quickly and effectively a model can find a solution. In real-world applications, planning models are often used in time-sensitive environments where it is essential to find a solution quickly and efficiently. Models that are too slow or computationally expensive may not be practical for real-world use.
The paper suggests that O1's performance on larger problems is not as good as its performance on smaller problems. What does this tell us about the model's scalability?
This suggests that O1 may not be able to scale well to larger and more complex problems. This is a common problem with LLMs, as they often struggle to generalize their abilities to new and unseen data. Future research needs to focus on developing models that can handle larger and more complex problems without sacrificing accuracy or efficiency.
This was a fascinating discussion on the challenges and opportunities of using LLMs and